Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host Lewis Carlin. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And if you want to support the podcast, if you're enjoying the content here at the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network and you want to support the podcast in some way, please consider purchasing a Super Thanks comment. A Super Thanks comment is a YouTube comment that you can purchase. It's a special YouTube content comment. You get a nice animated animation that's added to the video of the comment that you purchase. In addition, you get a customizable, colorful comment that'll be added to the video as well. And in addition, I give everybody who leaves a Super Thanks comment a shout out on the very next pre-recorded podcast, not live feed, but the next pre-recorded podcast. I will give them a shout out, and there will be a credit page at the end of the podcast that will give thanks to you as well. You can do so on every podcast that is uploaded to our channel. You'll see some icons on the bottom of the video. You'll see a thanks icon. Click on that thanks icon. I think it starts at $2, as low as $2 to support the podcast, and all money goes back into the podcast. So if you enjoy the content and you want to support the podcast, you'll feel free and consider to purchasing a Super Thanks comment. And it is actually shout out time right now. We do have t-shirts and tumblers available as well. Tumblers, you can send me an email at alliancepwnetwork@gmail.com, and I can show you or I can send you all the information that you need to purchase a tumbler, which is right here, the Shooting Up North tumbler. That's alliancepwnetwork@gmail.com. In addition, we have t-shirts which are available as well. You'll see on our YouTube channel the banner. Look to the bottom right hand corner, you'll see the link. Click on that link, Shooting Up North merchandise. It'll take you to our store and you can purchase a t-shirt as well. But it is shout out time, so I want to give a shout out to Herbert Dorsey for purchasing a hot and cold 30-ounce Shooting Up North tumbler. Thank you very much, Herbert. And Pat Cruthamel, I hope I got the name right, buddy. I hope I got the name right. But thank you so much for purchasing a t-shirt. Pat Cruthamel purchased a t-shirt yesterday, so I really appreciate it, my friend. So Herbert Dorsey, Pat Cruthamel, thank you very, very much for your support. And thank you, everybody, for your support. Whether or not you purchase a Super Thanks, a t-shirt, or a tumbler, doesn't matter. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm so thankful for all your support. Okay, so let's get into it. This is Impact Wrestling news, notes, and opinions for August 23rd, 2022. So let's get right into it. Whoops, I hit the microphone. I'm so excited. So let's get into it. So I wasn't able to I tried to do a podcast yesterday, but I was under the weather. My throat was sore. I was congested. I couldn't get past like the first 5 minutes. So I decided not to do it. So, but I'm going to catch up a little bit on yesterday, some of the news that broke yesterday, and then I'm going to go into some more stuff today. Aussie Open was announced that Aussie Open, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Tag Team Champions, Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher will be a part of Lone Star Stampede as they will be taking on the Motor City Machine Guns in what should be an absolutely fantastic tag team match. Aussie Open, one of the best tag teams in the world. They're so talented right now, and they're really on a upswing right now. They're really in hot demand, and very exciting tag team. And I'm very, very excited to see them coming to Impact Wrestling at Lone Star Stampede, and then be taking on the Motor City Machine Guns, which should be a classic match. Should be a classic match. Doesn't indicate whether the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong tag team titles are on the line, but I'm thinking if the Guns get a victory, they could ask for a title shot, and maybe they'll get one. But Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher, both two very, very talented individuals, and they make a terrific tag team. Part of the United Empire as well, in New Japan, the faction United Empire. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be Friday, August 26th, and this is what Impact Wrestling should be doing. And I apologize, my throat's not 100% right now, but I'm going to battle through this freaking podcast. This is what Impact Wrestling should be doing. With the Good Brothers on the way out, the Good Brothers on the way out after these TV tapings. It'll be cool to see Aussie Open come in and have a nice little run with Impact Wrestling. I hope it's not a one-off. I hope it's not a one-off. I could see Aussie Open coming in for on and off for like the next year or so, or 6 months to a year. I could see the Impact Wrestling World titles, tag team titles going around their waist. I can see that. I can see that happening, and it's not just that. Impact Wrestling should be looking at a lot more of New Japan Pro Wrestling strong talents and bringing them in, showcasing them in an Impact Wrestling ring. If they have a working agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling, they should be looking at New Japan Pro Wrestling strong as well. They should be looking at Ren Narita, Yuya Uemura, Clark Connors. They should bring all these guys in for runs in Impact Wrestling. Right now we got Kushida in, which is very exciting. But if they bring in Yuya Uemura, Ren Narita for the X Division, my goodness, oh, they could bring. I'm just thinking, Speedball Mike Bailey defending the X Division title against Ren Narita. My goodness. If you're not familiar with Ren Narita, you got to get familiar with Ren Narita. He's on excursion right now. Well, his excursion's about to end. He's going to be heading back to Japan. He's ready. But right now he's wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. If they bring in Yuya Uemura as well is on excursion right now in the States. He's going to be a mega star for New Japan Pro Wrestling when his excursion is over. But my goodness, they brought him in. I mean, he had in the past, him and Josh Alexander had a match for New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, which was just out of this world. Just out of this world, fantastic. Yuya Uemura has it, and they should bring these guys in. That's why I'm very excited to see Aussie Open coming in, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. It's going to be a very exciting match, and I'm very excited. I was very excited to see this, and I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to. And to pair them against the Motor City Machine Guns, like I said, that's going to be an instant classic. That's going to be like a 5-star match, man. And it's going to be again TV taping Friday, August 26th. They better let them go. You know, I don't want like a 5-6 minute match. This 10-15 minute match tops, because these two teams can go. And this is going to be an exciting one. And I just hope I hope it's only the beginning. I know with the Good Brothers obviously leaving at the end, and we'll talk about the Good Brothers at the end of this podcast. But to bring in a team like Aussie Open kind of like fills the like, oh, Good Brothers are leaving. Oh, but hey, Aussie Open's coming in, and Aussie Open's a more exciting tag team than the Good Brothers, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to Lone Star Stampede, which is actually starting this Friday. So I can't wait for this one to get on TV. That's going to be a great one, but they should be looking at other New Japan Pro Wrestling stars as well to bring in. I just heard a bell there for a second. I thought I forgot to put the power on, but yeah. But I'm super excited, and as you should be too. And this is going to be a terrific match. And I could see Aussie Open winning this match, and you got Matt Taven and Mike Bennett winning the tag team titles. Are going to beat the Good Brothers for the tag team titles on the same day. I can see Aussie Open, stepping in and just challenging them right away, challenging Taven and Bennett. And I can see Aussie Open getting the titles. And maybe it'll be like New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong tag titles versus Impact Wrestling tag titles. Although I don't know if they want to. Maybe it'd be a little too soon for that to let Taven and Bennett have a nice run as tag team champions, and then maybe Aussie Open will come in and challenge them. But nonetheless, I really hope Aussie Open we see. I hope it's not just a one-off. I hope we see them in Impact Wrestling for a bit. I know they're going to be on AEW teaming with Will Ospreay. I forgot who the team with. Did it say here who the match is against? Oh, they'll be facing a Death Triangle in a World Trios Championship match tomorrow. So they'll be on AEW, but they're not signed to AEW or anything. But I hope we see a lot more of them in Impact Wrestling. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I like to see a lot more of them in Impact Wrestling. But yeah, like I said, with the Good Brothers leaving, this is something to get excited about. Something to get excited about. Okay, Masha Slamovich. Masha Slamovich, she indicated that she hopes to have a death match at Impact Wrestling. And this is from Fightful. So speaking with Tommy Dreamer on House of Hardcore, Masha discussed her character and where she hopes it would lead. So she says, hopefully, I'm not going to read the whole quote. She says, hopefully one day we'll have an Impact death match to integrate towards violent cells, blood cells. There are not many females, especially of this caliber of pro wrestling, who voluntarily put themselves through this kind of thing. Most people on Impact shortly want nothing to do with class and Bob Bryan, but it brings me joy. It brings me joy to bring it to a wider audience. Okay. Masha, I'm a huge fan of yours. I think you're super, super talented. And I'm glad you're in Impact Wrestling. But I'm not a fan of death matches. I don't know if you guys out there are fans of death matches. If you are, more power to you. But I'm not a fan of watching wrestlers body slam through plates of glass. I'm not a fan of a wrestler having a pizza slicer run across their forehead. I'm not a fan of Bob the wire wrapped around somebody's eyes and pulled back. I'm not a fan of that. To me, that's not really wrestling. I kind of, there's Monster Ball. They have the Monster Ball matches in Impact Wrestling. That's where I kind of draw the line. Okay, that's okay. We get a couple of thumbtacks. Maybe we'll get what was Abyss's was it Lucille? Oh, no, that's Walking Dead. Lucille was um what was the Abyss's bat's name? I gotta look it up. Hold on. It might have very well been Lucille. Let me see. Abyss bat. What was it? What was the name of the bat? It's bat impact. Sorry, I have to. Oh, it was Lucille. It was Lucille. Abyss. Was it? It said Lucille, but whatever. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's where I kind of was. He never actually used it, right? He never actually used it. He always pretended to use it. That he was going to use it, but he never actually used it. But that's where I kind of draw the line at Monster Ball. But if you're going to if you're going to put up like two chairs and you can put plates of glass in between the chairs, I mean, real glass, and you're going to power slam someone off the top rope through the glass, and their arms going to get slashed, and they're going to need 50 stitches to patch it up. Or I think Alex Zane had glass in his eye, it punctured his eye. I'm not a fan of that. No, that's not entertaining to me. That's not again bringing the light tubes. Yeah, bringing the light tubes and smash them over each other's head. I'm not a fan of the death match. So I don't want to see death matches coming to Impact Wrestling. I don't know how anybody else feels. I mean, I know there was you had Matt Cardona was feuding with was in GCW doing a couple of death matches, and it might have been I think he said that there might be a death match as well. I think I was reading somewhere that what if a death match happens in Impact Wrestling? But no, I don't want a death match. I'm not a fan. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but Masha Slamovich seems to be pushing for it. But I don't think it's for the Impact Wrestling audience, and for the GCW audience. Okay, but it's not for. And I think there's a small niche of people that enjoy death matches, and I don't think. I think Impact Wrestling. I don't think we're going to see death matches ever in Impact Wrestling. I hope not. That's my feeling. I don't want to see any death matches in Impact Wrestling. I'm just pulling something up here for a second. Death matches. Death match. GCW. wonder how many death matches she's had. She says she loves having the death matches. Um, but I'm not gonna look that up now. But I'm not, I mean, is anybody really gonna get excited if like Nick Gage shows up at Impact Wrestling? Is anyone gonna get excited? I don't think so. I don't think so. So no, sorry, Masha. I love you. Um, I think you're I love your talent, I should say. Don't want to start any rumors here. No, no. I love your talent. You're incredibly talented. Big fan of yours. But I'd like to keep the death matches out of Impact Wrestling. Um, Weston Blake and No Way Jose actually debuted for AEW Dark, and No Way Jose actually he didn't do, from what it looks like, he didn't do the No Way Jose character, and I was talking about that. I'm saying he doesn't want to do the No Way Jose character. I think it was just um Levy Valens, I think he was. It was just his actual name, and he didn't look like he was doing the No Way Jose character. And I indicated that Impact Wrestling should take a shot at him and let him be a heel. He wanted to come in as a heel and not be a No Way Jose. And I indicated in a podcast not too long ago is let's take a chance on it. Well, what could we have to lose? What could Impact have to lose? And it seems like AEW is jumped on it already. Because I saw a picture, he didn't look like his hair was in braids, and he looked more like a heel. So we'll see how that goes. But also Weston Blake, man, I'd love Weston Blake to come to Impact Wrestling. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't joined Impact Wrestling and realigned himself with um with Steve Macklin. You know, they would be they were a great tag team, and they come in, they could be a good tag team to battle Taven and Bennett for the tag team titles. I'd love to see Weston Blake come in, formerly known as Wesley Blake, and team with Steve Macklin. I think that would be fantastic. So we'll see if that happens. But they both made their AEW debuts. Don't sleep on it, man. Impact Wrestling, don't sleep on Weston Blake. I mean, I mean, Macklin is killing it right now. I think Macklin and Blake could actually be a formidable team in Impact Wrestling, and I think Impact Wrestling should go for it, man. I think they should go for it 100%. Um, Now we know where Tenille Dashwood's going. Actually, Tenille Dashwood leaving Impact Wrestling. She indicated that she's a free agent. I don't want to say we know where she's going, but it seems like she's going back to the WWE, and she's going to align herself with her boyfriend or husband, Madcap. Was it her husband or boyfriend or whatever? Madcap Moss. So it looks like she's gonna return to this. She might be returning to the SmackDown brand, and she'll be working alongside her boyfriend Madcap Moss. So good luck to Neil Dashwood on that. We got the 50th anniversary. The 50th anniversary of All Japan Pro Wrestling that's having a 50th anniversary tournament. And the reason why I bring this up is because Impact Wrestling and Violent by Design star Joe Doering is going to be a part of this All Japan Pro Wrestling 50th anniversary tournament in Japan is September 18th and 19th. Big Joe Doering, they've already announced him. He's got former All Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown champion, and he's a big thing. He's a big thing in All Japan Pro Wrestling. He's a big star, so he'll be going back for the 2 days. I think it's just a 2-day tournament. That's all only days that I've seen for it, but it's a 50th anniversary tournament. And I would love Joe Doring. Excuse me. Man, I'm battling through this podcast right now. My throat is like not very good. Anything for you guys. Anything for you guys. But I would love Joe Doring. Sorry. You know, when you have like a cold and like you're on the last you're at the tail end of the cold, but you got like that little sore throat that just won't go away. And if the more you talk, the worse it gets. Well, that's what's happening right now. So, but anyway, I would love Joe Doring to bring back with him to Impact Wrestling a Kento Miyahara, a Stuti Ayagi, Yuma Ayagi, or Jake Lee. I would love for him to bring one of those or all of them back I would love Impact Wrestling to introduce the United States to Kento Miyahara. Kento Miyahara, just one of the best wrestlers in the world that not too many people know about, but he is just an absolute megastar for All Japan Pro Wrestling. And you have Astuti Ayagi as well, who actually battled Tajiri for the MLW middleweight title in an All Japan Pro Wrestling ring. But Astuti Ayagi is 22 years old, and this guy has so much freaking talent, man. He would be he would be an absolute perfect fit for the X division. That's why I'm thinking Impact Wrestling should also try to get a deal going, a working agreement going with All Japan Pro Wrestling. I think MLW tried it. I don't think it really worked out. I know they've gone back to Dragon Gate, but there's a lot of talent right now in All Japan Pro Wrestling, and Joe Doring's going back there to for the 2-day tournament. I would love they should, Scott D'Amore should go with them. Scott D'Amore should go with Joe Doring, and talk to a Kento Miyahara, talk to a Yuma Ayagi, who's also an incredibly talented. Talk to Suwama, who's the current All Japan Triple Crown champion. Talk to Jake Lee. Talk to the president of All Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know who that is, but talk. Let's start working on something. I mean, they allowed Joe Doring to go back and to All Japan Pro Wrestling, so let's get something back in return, right? Let's bring Joe Doring, bring back Kento Miyahara, bring back Kento Miyahara for a month or two, and let him shine in Impact Wrestling. I mean, it would only benefit Impact Wrestling. It would bring like I said, they would introduce a megastar that not too many people know about, in Kento Miyahara, to the United States, and the fans would take to him immediately. The fans would take to Kento Miyahara immediately. It's just incredible. Also, Jake Lee as well. So hopefully we get some we get something back in return for allowing Joe Doring to work All Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not saying that we're gonna, we might not, but hopefully something's worked out and we could get some All Japan Pro Wrestling stars. I don't know if that would upset New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not sure how New Japan Pro Wrestling would feel, because New Japan Pro Wrestling have worked with All Japan Pro Wrestling on group shows. So I don't think I don't think there's any bad blood between the promotions. So I'm thinking if Impact Wrestling talked to New Japan Pro Wrestling, said we want to bring some All Japan Pro Wrestling guys in, I think they would be okay with it. I mean, there's some talent right now, actually, some New Japan Pro Wrestling talent right now, working for All Japan Pro Wrestling. So we have Yuji Nagata, who is working. New Japan Pro Wrestling superstar is working in All Japan Pro Wrestling right now. He's on loan, and Tiger Mask also is actually the All Japan Pro Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion, who is signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So there's some New Japan Pro Wrestling talent in All Japan. So I don't think there's any bad blood. So I don't think they would get upset if Impact Wrestling brought in some All Japan Pro Wrestling talent. So hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. Like I said, it would only benefit. It would only benefit Impact Wrestling. Now I don't know too much about NXT UK. I know a lot of talent have been released, so I wasn't familiar with a lot of the names. I was familiar with a few like Mark Andrews and Trent Seven, but a lot of the names I really don't watch it, so I'm not familiar with the names. So people were asking me, Lewis, who do you think Impact Wrestling should bring over from NXT UK? And I had to say, I'm sorry, I'm not really familiar with the guys over there. The talent over there, so I really can't answer that honestly. So what I'm going to do right now, I have some names here given to me by fans, my fans of the show, subscribe people that subscribe to the YouTube channel, that watch the show. So from Joe Hosak. He suggests that Impact Wrestling go after Millie McKenzie, Zaya Brookside, Mark Andrews, and Trent Seven. Now, I'm familiar with Mark Andrews and Trent Seven. So that's who Joe Hosak thinks that Impact Wrestling should go after. And Andrew C. as well also says Millie McKenzie, but Andrew C. also says Flash Morgan Webster. They should put him with Mark Andrews. They're a tag team, that they will be a great tag team in Impact Wrestling. So Joe Hosak says Millie McKenzie, Zaya Brookside, Mark Andrews, Trent Seven. Andrew C says Millie McKenzie as well, Flash Morgan Webster, and Mark Andrews. So I will check out the names I'm not familiar with to see what do you guys think? Who do you guys think Impact Wrestling should sign from or go after from NXT UK? It seems like Millie McKenzie is both Andrew and Joe both say Millie McKenzie. So I'm going to check Millie McKenzie out. I'm going to check her out this weekend. All right. So last but not least, almost getting through this. I should have made tea. I should have made a green tea. That's my fault. So last but not least, the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers. It's quite apparent. You could almost say obvious that August 26th and 27th, Lone Star Stampede will be the last time we see Impact. We see them in an Impact Wrestling ring for quite some time. Because that's their contract is officially done by then. They signed an extension, but it's over. According to reports, it'll be over at Lone Star Stampede. They're scheduled to drop the titles to Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. That's I don't want to say they're scheduled. That's what I feel, and I'd be very surprised if that didn't happen, unless there was some last minute contract negotiations. I feel that's what's going to happen. I shouldn't say scheduled because I don't work for Impact, so I don't know what's scheduled. But I think it's a safe bet to say Bennett and Taven will win the tag team titles from the Good Brothers. Now I have gone both ways on how I feel about the Good Brothers. Maybe I'm sending some mixed signals. I know I spoke about that it might be good for them to let the Good Brothers go. But on the last podcast that I did talk about the Good Brothers, I said, well, no, maybe they should keep them because they're a big name and everybody's going to, everyone's going to be knocking Impact Wrestling. They're going to be on social media saying Impact Wrestling can't afford anybody, blah, blah, blah. So I might have sent out some mixed signals. But I thought about it for 2 days, okay? And this is my final thought. Final thoughts on the Good Brothers and Impact Wrestling. Clearing the throat there to do this one. And I can't wait to get rid of this, man. But anyway, so the Good Brothers came into Impact Wrestling about 2 years ago. Right? We know they started with Impact Wrestling about a little over 2 years ago. And I remember when they started with Impact Wrestling. Remember when they said that? I remember when they said that they're gonna elevate Impact Wrestling. They're gonna bring in top names to Impact Wrestling. I'm not repeating them word for word. I don't remember what they said, but something to the effect of this, that they were going to bring in some top names. Even hinted that AJ Styles, they could try to get AJ Styles back to Impact Wrestling. Everybody knew that wasn't going to happen, right? Everybody knew that wasn't going to happen. But the Good Brothers said that they're going to try to get AJ Styles back into Impact Wrestling, but that didn't happen. And but they continue to say that they're going to elevate Impact Wrestling. They're going to increase they're gonna I almost said they're gonna increase the viewership, but I don't think they've ever said they're going to increase the viewership. But they're gonna elevate Impact Wrestling. They're gonna bring Impact Wrestling to the next level. In 2022, in August 23rd, 2022, I think we can safely say that they did not bring Impact Wrestling to the next level. They didn't elevate. They did nothing really to elevate Impact Wrestling to the next level. They won the tag team titles a few times, but that's about it. But you have Carl Anderson not too long ago in Japan saying, after winning the never open weight title, saying, "See, in front of 5,000 people, I can turn it up, but in front of 300 or 400, not so much." And it was an obvious knock to Impact Wrestling. A lot of people don't think it was, but that was an obvious knock to Impact Wrestling. So he kind of mailed it in at that point. So they really didn't do anything to help Impact Wrestling to get more eyes onto the product. I mean, the viewership, it was just would hover around 125, 130. Sometimes we'll go down to 90s, sometimes 95, then up to 110. I think it hit 178 at one time, but they really didn't do anything to elevate it. They didn't bring anybody in. I think Doc Gallows brought in W. Morrissey. I think he recommended W. Morrissey to Scott D'Amore. I think that's the only one, but they really didn't bring anybody in. I mean, when they were teasing AJ Styles was coming, and it was Hornswoggle as the mini AJ Styles. That was terrible. That was terrible. So they didn't really elevate for all the investment that Impact Wrestling made into the Good Brothers. I don't think I think it might have been, maybe a bad investment. They didn't really get anything back on their investment. So I'm sure it would have taken a lot of more money. It would have taken a lot more money to keep the Good Brothers under contract for the 2 or 3 years. Probably even more money that they had to shell out when they first signed them. So with that said, when I thought about it, when I think about all the talent that's out there right now, all the young talent that would love to come in, that will turn it up, whether they're in front of 5,000 people or 200 or 300 people, I say let the Good Brothers go, and that's final. That's fine. I say let the Good Brothers go and use that money elsewhere. What they should do, once the Good Brothers are gone and they're no longer in the contract and they have freed up all that money, they should sign Shane Taylor and they should sign Carl Fredericks. Those should be the first 2 signings of Impact Wrestling after the Good Brothers leave. After all that money is freed up. Shane Taylor, Carl Fredericks. Shane Taylor will be a good, new, fresh challenge for Josh Alexander and the Impact Wrestling World title. Carl Fredericks will come in. He would just absolutely tear it up. Him against Speedball Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship would be fantastic. So those would be my first 2 signings: Shane Taylor and Carl Fredericks. And we're going to leave it at that for now. So I'm going to say thank you very much for listening. My name is Lewis Carlin. This has been Impact Wrestling News, Notes, and Opinions for August 23rd, 2022. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.